Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of GodSaw's Turnbuckle, the wrestling podcast here on YouTube and Daily Motion. That's the two that we're going with for the time being. I'm getting uploads to those on for all the different wrestling reviews and everything in that sense. I'm gonna be working on some other areas to go to, but I'm kind of getting through this one thing where I'm on where I'm working on Rambats for our fighting game tournaments out here in Arizona. So I've got one more session of those, and then I'm going to put a lot more focus into trying to get this into other facets and other areas to be viewed on. But this episode of GodSaw's Turnbuckle is going to focus around WWE NXT on May 31st, 2017. And, well, lo and behold, right after Orlando, they had a new theme song put together for NXT, and then lo and behold, after NXT Chicago, they had another new theme. Like just a couple months later, they have a new theme for the opening. They didn't change the opener at all in the terms of the pictures or anything in that, or the pictures of the clips or anything in that sense. But they had a new theme. That was an interesting choice. The new theme song, I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but it's all right. It's nothing spectacular, but we were just kind of getting used to the new theme song, and now wham, a new one right off the bat. But yeah, that's something small to just go off of right now. The beginning of the show had Tommaso Ciampa coming out. He was on crutches, and I liked certain things about this promo that he cut. He was explaining himself on why he turned on Johnny Gargano, and he basically had put it as people had kind of started treating him as an afterthought. When he even brings up the ankle injury on Thursday, he brings up the injury that they showed on I don't know if it was YouTube or on Twitter or something like that on Thursday, where he had where they had stopped a match from a house show and everything in that sense, and he basically just fully talked about what was going on, and I thought this was actually really good. In the terms of his heel turn, he was basically telling the fans to kind of shove it, for kind of saying it's like, oh, he got injured, let's find a replacement for him to go into Chicago. Of course he wasn't going to allow that to happen or anything in that sense. He would fight on everything because that's what they're supposed to do. And but he had recognized that he was going to be out for a while, and he basically didn't want to become, I guess, how people actually quote unquote say it, the Marty Jannetty of the team. Basically, when the Rockers split up, Shawn Michaels went to Skyrocket, while Marty Jannetty not so much. I think that though there was other things that worked against him in that sense, and why he didn't go much higher than where Marty Jannetty had actually gone. But the thing I liked about this promo, he comes out on the crutches, gets in the ring, and he puts the crutches in the corner, and basically cuts the entire promo on his feet afterwards. It was a nice little touch that they put in there, and like I said, for the most part, it was him talking about not being that afterthought. Like when he comes back, he's going to be stronger, not necessarily stronger, but more dangerous than ever inside of the ring and inside of NXT. So they're going to be continuing on with them in NXT. At least that's what you can kind of assume that they're going to be going with down the road here. So I actually ended up liking the promo from Tommaso Ciampa. I thought it came off rather well, and it kind of explained his ways and his ways of thinking. It was and it was not one of those typical like jealous style promos or anything in that sense. It was just him thinking, it's like, I'm going to be gone for a while. I need to do something to keep things in everyone's mind so they don't just forget about me or anything in that sense. So I thought it came off rather well. Up next, you had Bobby Roode. He was in a car, basically going to his glorious celebration, which initially was going to be in the NXT arena. But now he said, oh no, it's a private affair, no one's invited, blah, 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 and I'll be back next week. So they're going to have something with him next week inside of there. Okay promo, kind of gives off what you kind of assume from from Bobby Roode and his entire heel persona and everything, not and wanting to kind of change the way he thinks NXT is perceived versus how the fans perceive NXT. So up next was Pete Dunne going up against Danny Burch. Good match. This was a good match between both sides. Man, the crowd popped huge for Pete Dunne after that match that he put on with Tyler Bate at NXT Chicago. That crowd, they had popped for him before, but this was like huge pop for Pete Dunne coming out. And like I said, they put on a good match for what they typically do for like Pete Dunne and Danny Burch. I just really did enjoy the match. I thought it came off rather well. It wasn't like a barn burner classic or anything like that. It was just a good match between both sides. And then afterwards, Pete Dunne cut a short but effective promo about talking about winning the championship and how he had to sit back since January and see Tyler Bate, or as he put him, a child holding something that was supposed to be his. And then, of course, he was happy to take the championship off of him at NXT Chicago. Good promo. I liked what they did with Pete Dunne here, and it just came off really well. Up next, you had another promo backstage with the Velveteen Dream. Basically, he comes in there and he's just acting with different types of mannerisms. I think he was kind of making the kissy face type thing to go along with it, and he's just looking around, and as the person's trying to interview him, it's like this decor is like the decorum or the presence and the ambiance here is not good. Like the lighting's wrong and this is wrong. Fix that and fix something about the interviewer as well. Like flips her hair back, say fix the interviewer, and then maybe I'll give you a real interview and everything in that sense, and just walks off. That was actually pretty good. I find this gimmick to probably be very cheesy in the end and maybe not go anywhere, but or not go anywhere really far in that sense. But then again, we'll see how everything comes off. I thought this promo came off rather well. It kind of gives you an instinct of what this character is supposed to be and what he wants to do and everything in that sense. So I thought it came off rather well. Up next, they actually had a quick video package, and a pretty good video package as well for the Authors of Pain. Basically, it was cuts of all of their wins and everything in that sense since arriving in NXT, and you have Paul Ellering narrating everything, and then at the end, he basically says the Book of Pain is now closed, and now the Book of Dominance is opened or has begun. So now it's basically they're going into this new era of dominance for the Authors of Pain. Or at least that's what they're saying they're going with it. So not a bad video package. I actually ended up liking that one as well. So up next, though, you had Andrade Cien Almas going up against Cesar Bononi? Yeah. And this was actually a really good match. It was dominated for the most part by Andrade Cien Almas. So you were kind of assuming it's like, oh, it's just a quick win for him and everything in that sense. But no, they're going on this full-on thing about Cien Almas not really caring about whether he wins or loses or anything in that sense. Because towards the end, it looked like he was about to try to put him away. And then Cesar rolls him up and gets the victory. Initially, Andrade Cien Almas was livid, threw a chair in the ring, everything in that sense, and then he kind of looks around after Cesar had left, and he just starts laughing it off, like, yeah, whatever, I'm gonna go party now, type thing. So they're going full on with this party-esque I just don't care gimmick about Andrade Cien Almas. And I'll be interested to see where that one ends out going, and how far do they actually go with this in some way. Does he come out looking different each time or something in that sense about like in the style of where they're going with this character? It'll be interesting to see where they go with it. Up next, you have Billy Kay and Peyton Royce. They were doing like one of those little iPhone or filming segments in the Performance Center that they had been doing recently. And of course, they were like down talking the cameraman and everything in that sense, and how they were going to change certain things around the Performance Center when they like how they're going to take over and everything in that sense. Ember Moon walks out. They start dogging Ember Moon and everything about her injury, everything in that sense. And then you get a doctor walking out, and it's like, Ember Moon, here are your release papers. Sign these. She signs, just looks at both of them, and is like, see you soon. And they kind of get that like, uh-oh type moment with Ember Moon. So they're probably leading something to a match maybe next week or something in that sense. Actually came off rather well. You know, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce play up that character, the obnoxious character, pretty well. And you just have Ember Moon as like, she's there initially looking like she was going to be down in the dumps again or something in that sense. And then she signs her release forms and is like, cool, I get to go back and beat people up again type look in her face. So it was an interesting segment. I actually kind of enjoyed that one too. I thought it came off rather well. So up next, before they went to the main event, they actually showed, because I think this was on YouTube initially, but they added a little bit to it. They showed the whole Hideo Itami kind of going crazy after his title match. After losing the title match, everything in that sense. And you had Cassius Ohno get in his face, trying to calm him down and everything, and he had none of it, everything in that sense. So, like, they threw a lot of bleeps in there, like, pretending, because I don't remember the initial segment of there was just a lot of curse words that went along with it, or they were just trying to play that up in there. So they're showing that Hideo Itami was taking the loss really badly, and you had Ohno trying to calm him down, which he didn't have any of it. The added stuff that they put to it was that they had a parking lot spot where Ohno and Itami were making up. Basically had amends, everything, that they shook hands, everything in that sense. I think Ohno bowed to Itami and everything to go along with it. So it makes it play off that maybe that's going to be Cassius Ohno's next opponent is going to be Hideo Itami, and you're going to see Itami like kind of snap in some way, shape, or form, and maybe be subtly heelish or something in that sense, and you're going to have Ohno trying to either calm him down or go after him at that point in time. So we'll see how that ends up playing out over the next couple weeks with both sides there. Like I said, I think they're going to be doing something with that, but there's no guarantee they're going to be doing anything with that. So this does actually lead into the main event as well, which was Sanity, which was Eric Young and Alexander Wolf. Killian Dane was in the on the outside. No Nikki Cross. Interesting on that one. Going up against Cassius Ohno and Roderick Strong. Again, good match here on all sides. Sanity taking the loss with Ohno and Strong going over after I believe Strong hit Eric Young with his finishing backbreaker, lung blower backbreaker to get the victory. But before the match ended, they had it like where Killian Dane was going to try to get involved in the match, everything in that sense. And then No Way Jose made his return finally after it had been taken out at NXT TakeOver in Orlando before that match, and made his return to get rid of Killian Dane, which allowed to go into the finish. Again, like I said, it was a rather good match, and it seems that they might, if they're not going to do anything with Cassius Ohno and Hideo Itami, they're definitely going to have this, like, these three going after Sanity for a little while, and where they're and everything that they have with that. But like I said, good match. Overall, I rather enjoyed NXT. This is a very easy hour to watch of NXT. It came off rather well. It was a lot better than last week's, which was just kind of recaps, everything in that sense. So they're getting back to storyline building and everything in that sense, which I'm not going to lie to you. It's almost always a skipper after NXT. Like, you skip the week before, and then they go to the actual storylines the next week. I kind of wish they wouldn't go that route, but in the end, I guess it's not so bad because there is a good chunk of time before the next takeover, so they kind of take a week off and you just have some matches here, and then you have like recaps of takeover, and then the following week after that is like, okay, let's start building to the next takeover, and start building some storylines going into it. So overall, this week's NXT I thought came off rather well. It came off pretty good as a show, and like I said, kind of gets everything rolling into the potential of some stuff going into the next NXT takeover, and just other storylines in general. So, with that being said, everybody, I hope you enjoyed everything on this GodSaw's Turnbuckle. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Peace out.